Hey everyone, Miss Hood here. I'm going to go over how we use the Earthquakes 2 gizmo to find the epicenter of an earthquake. Here we have three different recording stations, but nothing on here to tell me where our epicenter is. However, from our work from the first part of this level, we have a graph made that can help us. If we can find the time interval at each of these stations, then we can use our graph to find the distances each station could be from the epicenter. On slide 16, it tells us to click play on the gizmo, then pause it once our seismograms are complete. Here are the graphs that I got when I did that. The first thing we have to do is find the time difference at each station. To do that, I'm going to click the Show Time Probe button. But you have to tell it where on each seismogram is that time difference. So we're going to start with station A. The first thing I do is take the probe on the left-hand side and move it right on top of the first sort of bump you see on your seismogram. That's where the P wave was first recorded. Next, I want to take the probe on the right-hand side and move it to the very first large peak I see, which represents the S wave. Here I see my change in time is 63 seconds. So I'm going to come back to my table here and write that down. I'm going to repeat this same process for stations B and station C. When I come to station B, I do the same thing. Here, my P wave starts right about there, and my S wave starts a lot later. So I'm going to get it as close as I can to that first peak. And I see that now my time interval is 105 seconds. Last one, at station C. Again, I want my first probe on the left-hand side to be at the peak of that first bump I see. And do the same thing with our S wave for the right probe. So we're going to say the time difference here is 55 seconds. Now that I know my time intervals for each station, I can use the graph that we found on slide 10 to find the distance to the epicenter. When I go to slide 10, here's an example of how your graph should have looked. You should have your data table filled out and each of these dots placed accordingly. In order to find the distance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line and set it up where my first time difference is. My time difference for station A is 63. So I'm going to get as close to about where I think 63 is, and I'm going to draw a straight line going across until I hit the line that I made. To find my actual distance, I'm going to do the same thing one more time, connecting that line until I find where my distance is. I'm going to say that that distance is about 490 because this line right here is 500. So I'm going to come back to slide 16 and I'm going to type out 490. I do the same thing for station B and station C. I went ahead and color coded each of my lines and noted down the numbers that I found. Keep in mind your numbers should probably look different, and that's okay. Remember, the Gizmos has a different setting each time you log in. So for station B, I got a distance of 790, and for station C, I got a distance of 420. So I come back here and copy them down. Now that we know the distance each station is from the epicenter, we're going to use our gizmos to tell us where the epicenter actually is by inputting this distance for each station. To do that, all I have to do is go down to the bottom where it says Show Station A, click that, and do the same thing for B and C. But again, we have to tell gizmos where that radius is. So I'm going to change station A to 490, station B to 790, and do the same thing for station C. Notice how when I did that, this nice arrow here that says epicenter has been found pops up. That is what I'm looking for. If you don't get this, but you do get the little red dot that pops up, that's okay. You're really close to the epicenter. Your numbers might just be off. For homework, all you have to do is repeat this same process 2 different times. Simply reset your gizmo and repeat these steps. Remember, we want the screenshot of that epicenter. So you simply click Screenshot and then come to your slide and copy and paste it here.